Hello and welcome back to the Puncher's Chance podcast, and welcome to the preview show where we have a look forward at what's coming up in boxing this weekend. Diego Pacheco is fighting on a matchroom card in the States, Joe Cordina, Skye, Nicolson, Chev Clark and more on that one, and there's a couple other good fights happening around the world, as well as the WBC convention that's just been, which is, putting out the future of boxing, so we'll have a little bit of talk about some of the stuff happening from that. If you like the sound of that, subscribe for 2 podcasts every single week. Thank you all for tuning in for all of that stuff. Straight into the action. Though we're not straight into the action, we're actually going to start off with some of the WBC pleasantries. So we'll save the fight coming up.
He needs to tell us all these ones.
Oleksandr Usyk is free to take a voluntary defence, clearing the path to a fight. Deontay Wilder. Looks like that's what we're going to be getting in the heavyweight division. Are we happy with that, or are we unhappy with that as the alternative?
I wouldn't have had that on my 2026 bingo card. I'm not going to be on.
I bet you play bingo as well, don't you?
I love bingo.
At your age.
Bingo is fun. I'll give it.
Big fan. Let us know in the comments if you like bingo.
In the main hall.
In where?
Well, you don't get a castle. You don't get a castle bingo.
Castle bingo.
No,
castle bingo is where it's.
We have it in the the nursing home.
Of course, yeah.
I'm quite surprised that you're still out with us now, man.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments if you like bingo. But
bingo. No, like Ben said though, crazy.
How has he got himself in that position?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think.
What was his last? Didn't his last fight see him get stopped by Lele Zhang?
No, he fought in Alabama against someone that no one's really heard of. Didn't look very impressive. Got the stoppage, I think.
And that
was it.
Allows you to get a WBC title shot.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this in both of our last 2 podcasts, and we've been quite critical of the WBC at times. They sometimes have their commercial hat on, to use your famous WBC hat, and they like to slap on them, but they have their commercial hat on often more than what's fair or what's right.
Well, we've seen that with Manny Pacquiao coming back. And
yeah, and I think, while Ajit Kabiel's fighting for
silver
for the mandatory as a mandatory defense for that, I don't mind Usyk having another fight as a WBC defense, but
Deontay Wilder,
what has he done to earn it?
Exactly. You've got Fabio Wardley out there that was potentially fighting for the right against Joseph Parker to fight Oleksandr Usyk next. Now he's all of a sudden world champion. He gets pushed to one side. I mean, this is just boxing, isn't it? I think Terence Crawford's had his belt.
Yeah, we'll get onto that in a bit.
Okay, sorry, but Deontay Wilder, he shouldn't be in a position where his last sort of world level fight, he got destroyed in against Zhang and got badly knocked out in that.
How many rounds until Usyk knocks out Wilder?
It shouldn't be many.
Goes the distance.
I want to say this. No, I think Usyk has absolutely earned the right with the wins he's had in the last couple. Joshua, Fury, Dubois, the wins that he's got, he's earned a fight like this that's a bit more commercial, a little bit less defense. I don't blame Usyk for that at all. He gave up his title to Fabio Wardley, no problems. But Deontay Wilder does not deserve this fight, unfortunately. Or fortunately, depending on how you see it. Behind that as well, Lawrence Okoli versus Moses Atoma.
Ooh.
Is for the mandatory position, which realistically doesn't happen.
Queensbury versus Queensbury.
That ain't gonna happen.
But I think
most of the time we've got to get through Jermaine Franklin first in January. So
yeah, I don't think that happens, but we'll have to wait and see. Also, there's been a lot of world heavyweights turning down fights. You've had both Atoma and Torres Jr. turn down a fight with Frank Sanchez for the IBF mandatory. I don't know why you wouldn't want to fight for the IBF.
Do you know what they're doing?
If you fancy an email on a Monday morning saying, congratulations, you're a world champion, fight for an IBF mandatory, because it's almost certainly going to happen at some point. So I can't get my head around that.
Has Richard Torres Jr. turned it down as well now?
As far as I'm aware, yeah.
Mental.
That's what I've seen reported.
Mental.
They're just eventually going to just go like, no one wants to fight you, you can just have it.
Yeah. Or just pick someone up off the street. How much do you weigh? More than 200 pounds?
Sanchez fight last?
Off you go.
Cabello,
lost to Cabello, yeah. He might have had a fight since.
He did look very poor against Cabello as well.
Super middleweight division, like you said, Crawford has been stripped as he failed to pay sanctioning fees in back-to-back fights. So he's very much, taken it, had his cake and eaten it realistically. Had one of them hat slapped on his head.
Did he have a
got to have the
t-shirt?
belt round his waist. Got a special belt
must have
for
had
the
He did.
undisputed.
Better, you got a special belt.
And
That's what thingied off the WBC. They made a
did-
special belt for him, and he didn't want to pay.
and he hasn't paid his sanctioning fees. Do you think that's fair?
Yes. No. 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 Sorry.
Compose yourself for a second there.
Do you think it's fair that they rock up after the fight and go, "We've decided to make you this very nice belt. Now you've got to pay us about
But
300,000."
But you have to pay for the honour to fight. You have to pay for a WBC fight for them to sanction the fight.
Yeah.
Whether you're Terence Crawford, I'm all for boxers having the power, because I think when you're putting yourself at risk to the degree they are, they absolutely deserve the better side of the bargaining chips. But
I was going to say, it is also his decision to pay it or not. Like, if he decides not to pay it, then...
But it's a bit rude to have no intention of paying it and still claim the title.
Would you pay it?
Yeah, I'm earning 50 mil. What's 300 grand? That falls out my pocket when I stand up. You know what I mean?
We come from different lives.
No,
like,
but
so
if I'm Terence Crawford and
I won't care if it was 300 grand or £3. Though.
But it's the rules. The rules, you don't deserve the WBC
But
title
does this
if you
make
don't
the
pay
argument
for it.
that Terence Crawford has shown to the world of boxing that there's too many belts? That he doesn't care about losing one belt.
Yeah. But he's been able to say, I'm undisputed champion. I've beaten Canelo Alvarez.
But has he
and you don't get any
strengthened
money
the
for it.
argument of people online that say that boxing, there should only be one world title, one world champion? I know it wouldn't work, but does that now, those people that make that argument, is he now fueling them with more and more energy to keep on pushing?
I used to be fully for that argument before we got fully invested into boxing.
Yeah.
I always used to think, why is there so many belts? But when you get an understanding of the reasoning behind it, it just won't work without it.
I think it gives the people who think that more ammo, but they still haven't got a weapon to fire. There's still no argument to it, personally. But we'll have to wait and see. But that means that Christian Mbili and Hamzah Sheeraz will fight for the interim champion. Very exciting. Obviously, Hamzah Sheeraz lost to Adames for the WBC at middleweight. Now at super middleweight, great fight. Christian Mbili might get a shot at becoming a world champion. The winner faces Lester Martinez for the title. I'm happy with all of that.
Can we give our potential inside knowledge on the Sheeraz fight, or should we just...
Up to you, mate.
You got inside information?
Well, allegedly, in terms of when it's going to happen.
You can say allegedly when it might happen.
Allegedly, it might happen in Saudi in February.
Well, there you go. Start off Riyadh season, would that be, I imagine?
I would guess so. It's a good way to
Just
start.
before-
I'm just trying to...
Just before Ramadan, good timing.
Where's this sort of information come from, Mr. Thomas?
The grapevine.
Wow, the grapevine. Look at that.
Grapevine.
Come to the
not
Punches
a
Chance
guarantee, but
for
from-
exclusive stuff.
So
We did say that Anthony Joshua's changed his trainer, didn't I? And look what happened a couple of
Joshua
weeks.
meant to be fighting in February as well?
yes, I think so. It might be the same
Whoa.
card.
It does line up.
Whoa. He's got a tough fight coming up. Like, come on. Let's not... Remember what we talk about in this podcast. You can't overlook fights.
It's true.
So just...
To continue
Chill
forward, super lightweight, Sabrel Matias is on probation based off of a probable supplement contamination for an Osterin finding.
Fair play. Well done.
Ryan Garcia must have been round his house recently, but
Allegedly.
his title defense against Dalton Smith on January 10 proceeds as planned and counts.
They've all been
as a
buying
defense.
eggs from the same...
But on a side note, whether he's guilty or not, if he's on probation,
He
How
shouldn't be
is
fighting.
he still
how
allowed
is
to
it
fight for
still a
world title?
title defense?
Yes.
That
Well
is
done. Yep.
backwards against the it's not like he's fighting a nobody. It's the WBC silver champion.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I'm concerned, you just either say he's not allowed to fight, but we're going to let him keep his title until proceedings are found out, or you strip him.
Yeah.
No, I think it is interesting. Actually, Ryan Garcia's fighting with Barrios for the WBC.
Really?
Despite coming off at the back of a loss to Ronnie Romero. Stop laughing. Obviously, the issue with that, I think, for me anyway, is we've been through this quite a lot, but the arrogance and the risks to someone's health of failing a drugs test as a combat sports athlete is unacceptable. But also the difference that makes as far as I understand it, isn't temporary. If you've been under the influence of something for a period of time, there are lasting effects, advantageous effects for that. It goes back to what we've said before. If you get caught, if you get caught with a performance enhancing drug in your system, little slap on the wrist.
But you also
it shouldn't be that way.
It shouldn't be that way.
Fighters like Liam Cameron, who had, what was it, a 7-year ban for cocaine use.
Yeah.
And as far as I know, cocaine
7
doesn't
years?
help you in terms of fighting as a professional athlete.
No, not much.
That's the thing I don't like, though. You've been caught cheating and you don't really get a punishment. Because it was a bit like when Ryan Garcia, after the Devin Haney fight, what was it, a year's ban he had?
He just had an exhibition fight in the middle of it.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
That normally for fighters like Ryan Garcia at that sort of the fame he's got, and he's quite a big name over in the States, he wouldn't care. He's like, oh, well, I'm just having only one fight in a year now instead of 2, but there we go.
Yeah, and obviously, like I said, so Barrios Garcia has been confirmed.
Yes.
The WBC title with Conor Benn installed as mandatory for the winner. So Conor Benn will be getting a shot at a world title against Ryan Garcia and Mario Barrios, which you'd say, as far as world champions go at the weight, are probably about as beatable as they come. So
I would really like to see...
I still wouldn't back him. I'd actually back him less against Ryan Garcia than I would. But Ryan Garcia, Conor Benn, fight build-up.
Big commercial fight.
Fireworks.
Yeah,
absolute fireworks.
Very good in terms of press conferences and build-up.
Yeah, big fan of that. Sebastian Fundora's ruled out due to injury, but he's going to receive recognition for his acceptance to Harvard to study engineering. Not sure how that's relevant, but it's included in there anyway. Ortiz Jr. Continues discussions for a WB interim fight against Boots Ennis.
Ooh.
Great fight. Love that.
That's one I really want to see.
Can I just say, though, all these fights you're listing off, how many of them are we actually going to see?
I think you'll see a lot of them.
The
only one I don't think would happen is a Coley at Oma.
I don't think Usyk Wilder happens.
I think it does.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Who else are they going to stick in with Usyk at the moment?
Yeah, I think it absolutely happens.
Okay, but
as
it
much
goes
as
back
I
to
feel
the
like
point of...
As much as I feel like Fabio Wardley's probably earned it now, are they going to...
Other heavyweights have earned an opportunity. I'm not being funny. There's...
Or Caballero.
Philip Hrgovic, I feel like, has earned an opportunity to...
You love Hrgovic.
Listen, Zile Zhang, in a way, you can make the argument if you want as well, that could fight Oleksandr Usyk next. You know, if you're going that low down the rankings, potentially. But, like, we can make all these... They can announce all these stuff. They can write it down on a sheet of paper. These are the fights that we're going to put out for 2026. For me, I don't see a lot of them happening because it's boxing at the end of the day.
That isn't the WBC's job. Their job is to say who has to defend against who. And if that fight can't be made, then that's when you go to purse bids, or you go to voluntaries, or you strip someone of the interim silver, etc. title. So this is just mostly speculation, but it's quite interesting as we sort of come back to the back end of the year. Just to go through it all, we mentioned in the last episode, David Benavidez granted permission to fight against Zurdo Ramirez.
Yes.
So he's not going to get stripped of his WBC light heavyweight title. So he's able to go back and fight for that after this Zurdo fight, unless he decides to stay at cruiserweight. Bam Rodriguez is clear to have a voluntary because he's done well. And most importantly, Naoya Inoue has his voluntary defense against Alan David Picasso on the 27th on Night of the Samurai. And it says, if successful, WBC hopes to finalize a major clash with unbeaten Junto Nakatani at the Tokyo Dome in May. So I've booked the flights, hotel.
Wow.
That should be done for that.
All of the above.
Birthday trip to Japan.
Really annoying. I was actually meant to be in Japan in May, and I've delayed it a year because that would have been dreamland. But, never mind.
God, some people ruin things, don't they?
Well, me, I ruined it.
Well done.
Because money and all that.
Just bring it back.
Why don't you just message him? Just
drop a new message. Yeah.
Just drop him a message. I'm sure you got, but if he's got contacts for talking about Riyadh season and February dates, then I'm sure.
You make a point. Which of all of those fights we've mentioned are you most looking forward to?
Hamzah, Sheeraz, Christian and Billy.
That's really annoying because that was going to be my left field shout.
No.
Especially after in Billy's fight again.
Surely.
Ortiz Boots is a belter.
Again,
just to be different, I'm going to go Ryan Garcia, Conor Benn. I think
it's good that's good for a laugh. But
fireworks.
Realistically,
That's something that we've had a bit too much on this podcast already.
True,
is a laugh.
Yeah, don't need you to laugh.
Can we cut that bit? I think we might have to cut it.
Or about half hour.
Yeah, no, I think it's no, I just think Ryan Garcia, Conor Benn, it's like that Spider-Man meme of them pointing at each other. You know, the only thing that they'll have to take the mick out of one another is something that they're guilty of themselves.
Launching eggs at each other.
Exactly, yeah. So I just think it'll be quite funny. Ryan and Eddie don't get on particularly well. No. Oscar De La Hoya and Eddie don't get on particularly well.
Yes.
Oscar De La Hoya's promo.
Probably.
Yeah, I don't know actually.
Because they had a bit of a lovers tiff at some point.
But I think all of that is just, it would be fun. But I do agree that Virgil Ortiz, Boots Ennis is the best fight.
I really
does it happen though?
And I agree. Yeah,
does Boots fight him?
Yeah,
you reckon?
Yeah,
that's the fight to make, isn't it?
But,
you know,
we're planning
how many times we said Boots needs a really big sort of boxing mega fight.
Instead of talking about this fight now, we've got our a review of 2025 and looking ahead to 2026. We'll save that fight for that because I think when he fought last, I think we touched upon it, didn't we?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What was your fight again?
Christian and Billy against Hamzah Sheeraz.
Indeed it was. And fighting for the WBC silver super middleweight title is Diego Pacheco and Kevin Lele Sadjo. Do you like what I did there?
Good fight.
Well done.
I teed myself up via you.
You've done well in this podcast already today. I can't lie earlier. So
yes. Great fight. Really great fight. Lele Sadjo is quality fire, interesting, exciting. Diego Pacheco, I love. I don't know why. He is, to me, he's if you made Hamzah Sheeraz American and signed him to Matchroom, it would be Diego Pacheco. Style-wise, very similar. Power-wise, very similar. Build-wise, very similar. Really great fun. So I think this will be a really good fight, actually.
Yeah, it will. It's a good style matchup. I think it will hinge a lot on whether Pacheco can keep that distance from Sadjo, who is one of the type of fighter I like, who will just come and sit on your chest and just try to throw bombs from every angle. But I think maybe Pacheco's going to be smart enough to be able to gauge that distance well and hopefully time him coming in with one.
I was going to say one of his biggest strengths is the range. Sorry, the range at which he holds power. I remember the Ryan, not Ryan Rosicki, that's the cruiserweight, but it was there was a Polish fighter he fought, who a really tough Polish fighter, and he landed a lead body shot.
That was like that. I know the one you're talking about.
And it was quite far out. You know, that's normally a shot you have to be quite close in, and it was quite far out, and it just crippled the guy because he's got such long arms. He's able to, hold that power in the distance in the same way. Suletsky, that was the one. In the same way that Hamzah Sheeraz does. So I think, I think style-wise, it's going to be a difficult fight for Sadjo, but equally, like you say, he keeps coming. He's tough.
He's got the ability to cause problems as well, 100%. I think. If you can't deal with even going back to the other podcast with someone like Conor Walker, it's just that style of fighter where if you can't keep that relentless pressure off you, like sometimes it can drone you, but I feel like Pacheco really should have enough to deal with it on Saturday, but you never know. But yeah,
he's got the rounds under his belt as well. Yeah. Steve Nelson and Trevor McCumbee in his last two.
Yeah, the McCumbee fight was impressive, I think, again.
And I felt like that McCumbee fight as well was sort of the biggest fight of his career so far, wasn't it? So it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Lots of positive signs, but also they have taken him slowly, which I quite like. They haven't rushed it too much.
The thing they've done with Pacheco they've done it slowly, but as soon as he's gathered momentum after winning one big fight, it's like bang, 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 bang. So I'm a big fan of it.
Little steps up. Gabriel Flores Jr., Joe Cordina for the WBO International. You would imagine this sets up for the winner to fight against Abdullah Mason. Which
they get that
would be a regardless fight. I do genuinely believe that Joe Cordina should be winning this fight on paper. The fight's not fought on paper, it's fought in the ring, so we'll have to see. It's
a new Joe Cordina as well. I thought he looked really impressive under Gary Lockett when he fought in Manchester, I want to say, the last time he had a fight on the Jack Catterall undercard, maybe. Very interested to see how he gets on. And in a way, I'm very surprised as well that he's on this card fighting over in America. When I saw the announcement, I was quite shocked that he's making the traveling over there. So
I suppose that's to do with the fact of getting
The fight.
American audience.
Potentially, or he just
Looking
wants
at
to fight.
Cordina.
He just
but
wants
also
it.
without putting him out in Wales and without a world title around his waist, I think he's a big fighter that I imagine costs a reasonable amount to put on a card, but also without him fighting in Wales, maybe doesn't get necessarily the same return on that investment. So it makes sense to put him on a card like this, fill it out on DAZN. I think British audiences will absolutely tune into this because it's not on a pay-per-view. It's got some great fighters, some other British fighters on there as well. So I like what they've done with it.
What is the timing looking like UK-wise? Is it an early...
I just had it on the boxing news out then.
I don't know.
4 a.m.
Yeah.
So it's not bad. See if
Is that for the main event?
that's Cordina's
Cordina.
fight.
Oh, wow. So it's
Quite a
of
late one.
course it's California, isn't it? So it's West Coast. So it's a little bit.
Well, we should
later.
be getting used to those timing.
card then.
Yeah,
Yeah, one of those.
catch up
ones.
Sunday.
Skye Nicolson fighting Julian Luna Avila.
She's looked very impressive since she dropped down the weight division. She has.
The
The last two fights, she's obviously got the 2 second round stoppages, and she just looks like she's sitting down on her shots a lot more and throwing with a lot more power, which is good to see. But yeah,
More
obviously-
comfortable. I
Yeah,
think
and this is for the
yeah.
WBC interim title, so this puts her in a good spot. I think it's
We've
interesting
mentioned the WBC quite a bit today, haven't we?
we have.
Is
Yeah,
it-
yeah.
What would be the big fight? Is it Ellie Scott?
Ellie Scotney's the champ. Yeah, that's the big fight.
She's
to make.
MVP as well.
That would be a brilliant fight.
Yeah. No, I think as well with Skye is I actually think we mentioned this slightly, but in the Tiara Brown fight, she looked to sit down on her work a little bit more. But I think at featherweight, it wasn't as effective. So I think she was trying to pivot as a fighter slightly. But at featherweight, sorry, it wasn't quite as effective. At super bantamweight, it seems to be the weight for her. And she can always go back up to featherweight in the future.
Yeah, I think she did say that she wished she'd done it the other way round and started it and built up to featherweight. But yeah, they've done a good early job of this sort of rebuilding period. But yeah, a fight between her and Ellie Scotney for a world title, I think would be a really good watch.
Yep.
Hopefully another fight we get in 2026.
Chev Clark, back on the card, another one of your favourite fighters. Shout out
Another-
Chev, friend of the podcast.
Another rebuild job as well, obviously, after coming off 2 defeats in a row. The fight with Vidal Riley, I was there, obviously on the undercard of the Eubank Benn, the first fight. It
was expected as well. I can't lie.
Well, I don't know if it was super expected. We all predicted it right.
Yeah,
But it was
we all went for Riley,
it was a great fight to make, and I think it was obviously it would have been financially and I think as a fight an offer that they couldn't turn down. But in hindsight, off the back of a loss, probably right fight, wrong time. I would say.
I wonder if they're building back towards our Mosquera rematch, because obviously that fight out in Monte Carlo it almost felt like one that got away from him. It was one he was going into off the back of a lot of sort of...
Well, he never got going after getting knocked down in round 1, didn't he?
Yeah, it was a difficult start, and he'd done well, I think, to more or less get through the 12 rounds on that night, and I think lost on a split decision in the end, but maybe one to go back to in the future, try and get the win back there. But yeah, it's just rebuild towards I think the British title is the aim now. Get back to that point, because I can see, obviously with Vidal Riley news this week as well, that he signed with Misfits Pro Boxing.
What's all that about? Because when I hear Misfits, I think...
like such an old man.
No, but when I hear Misfits, I think it's...
they are sort of promotional company to deal with professional fighters.
Yeah, it's
So he won't...
their
Okay,
professional
so
arm.
he's not fighting YouTubers then? He won't be...
No, he'd be fighting other pros, but on Misfits cards, I think.
Mental. So he's turned down the opportunity of fighting on BBC.
He said he wasn't interested in fighting on the BBC.
Wow. That does shock me, to be honest.
I do think that, and for all we give Boxer a lot of credit, and we do like Boxer generally speaking, when you're looking at fighters that careers they
done
made
a bad
mess
job with
made a mess of is harsh, but I don't think they've given him the fights that he wanted, and the one fight that he got that he wanted was funded by the guys over in Saudi Arabia on a Ring Magazine card, as opposed to being an opportunity solely brought to them by Boxer. So from that point of view, I can understand why he's perhaps more keen to jump ship. He's always been a commercially strong fighter, obviously off the back of his amateur pedigree, but also then the stuff he did with KSI as the sort of early influence of boxing scene. So I understand it. Frustrating, I think, because he's a British champion. He's a great fighter. But I can kind of understand why.
It'd be interesting to see what the next fight is for him in terms of...
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, a fight against someone like Alois Yumbi would be a great fight.
Chris Billam-Smith.
Yeah, winnable fight, but I don't know why you'd fight Chris Billam-Smith if there wasn't
much like a big
title.
Yeah, true.
He was meant to fight... who was he meant?
Just another insider.
Was it not Alois Jr. who was meant to be? They were talking about that fight quite heavily.
Alois Yumbi, was it?
Yeah, I think it was.
No, there was someone else though. I'm sure he was meant to fight that
British, not British.
British title fight that he was meant to have. I think,
I think you tripping.
What was this?
I don't know, to be honest, mate. But either way, like you say, I think it is interesting to see where he goes from here. Absolutely, I think it'll be intriguing.
He's going to be fighting on Misfits, so...
Yes, but what kind of fights do they get? But they do have the money behind them. We've seen... You know,
they haven't got the names, though.
The money that they've got.
No, Isaac Chamberlain. He was meant to fight Isaac Chamberlain, wasn't he?
That was ages ago. Yeah.
He's fought it, ain't he?
But that was before he fought... that was before he fought Shev. That fight was intended for.
He fought Ben Thomas.
Wasn't it? That was before the... Shev Clark. So I think having won a British title against Shev Clark, perhaps he's leapfrogged Isaac Chamberlain in that manner.
He needs to look good, mine, over in America, because the last time he went over there, he was...
Shev Clark, this is.
Yeah, Shev Clark, sorry. Yeah, going back to Shev Clark, the last time he went over there, I think he was on the undercard of Pacheco's fight against Zaleski. He might have been. I can't remember.
No, he was he's in a stadium card, wasn't he? He was on the... I think he was on Terence Crawford Majmov undercard?
No, it wasn't that.
I could have sworn that it was on a stadium.
Hang on.
Shev Clark, have I made that up? We've been very off our game today. I don't know what's thrown us off.
Yeah, he was on the undercard of Pacheco Zaleski.
Well, there you go then.
Yeah, 95-95 one of the judges, so he needs to look a bit more impressive. So who knows? The rebuild begins again for another British fighter.
Absolutely.
He was one of our favourites.
And a rebuild for you, Ben, on the predictions, because obviously you lost last week as you didn't take part.
He scored
would have won.
Like Wales, zero.
Let's get up the Boxing News app. If you'd like to join us for the predictions, we do it on the Boxing News app. We're not sponsored, affiliated, or
what are we doing?
Endorsing of the Boxing News app.
Are we doing all of the card, or are we just going to do the three fights that we talked about?
We're going to do all of the card.
But they haven't got Shev Clark's fight down.
Well, we're still going to do all of the card.
Okay.
Unfortunately, mate.
Shev Clark's winning by stoppage this weekend.
Unfortunately, I don't make the rules. I just follow them.
You do though.
Yes, I very much do make the rules.
You do make the rules. That's the problem.
But but
I can't stand up to the leadership. So
that's why they pay me the big bucks.
Allegedly,
they don't pay me out.
No, I was about to say I want to see you.
I am filling time in because currently my app says no fights to display. Not to throw shade at the guys over at Boxing News, but make that make sense. Have any of you boys got it open?
I'm just logging in now.
Been able to get it to load because I'm.
Do you want to swap phones?
I've got it. There we go.
Look at that. Right. God, this podcast has gone very well today.
Arturo Papoca, Cesar Vaca Espinoza for the super bantamweight 10-rounder. Papoca's a good fighter. One draw on his record.
Gets a points decision win.
Well, there we go. I was going to ask Ben, but
Nope. But leave Ben for the main event.
What are you going for this one, Ben?
Same. Papoca decision.
Ernest Mercado, Antonio Moran, super lightweight 10-rounder. Mercado is good fighter, big hitter, and I think he's going to continue that forth.
He's got 94% knockout rate.
He does indeed. If you don't know, get to know.
His opponent's got 70%.
Ooh. I'm going to go Mercado decision.
I'm going to agree with you. I think he gets the stoppage.
I think the last thing you want as a big hitter in the form of his opponent is another big hitter, because I think you just open yourself up. For it, Skye Nicolson versus Luna Avila. Like we said, 10-rounder, obviously be 10-2s.
They've got, Boxing News, they've got Skye Nicolson still undefeated.
They do.
Wow.
They do. That is outdated. But What do you think her result is going to be in this one?
Skye Nicolson points decision.
Yeah, I've gone the same.
I've gone for the same.
You're gonna have a long night. Watch if
Gabriel
goes the
Flores
way you're
Jr.,
going.
Joseph Cordina, as they've got him down on here.
Joseph.
I'm going to go for a Cordina points decision.
Yep.
Don't think he's
Cordina
gonna get the
stoppage for me.
Cordina's.
Ooh, I like it.
Wow.
Bit of a
Fair play.
statement, ready to fight Abdullah Mason in
And Ben,
2026.
Diego Pacheco, Kevin Lele Sadjo,
Well done.
12-rounder, super middleweight for the interim title. What are you going for? The silver title, sorry.
Pacheco decision I've gone for.
I agree.
He's copied me.
I have copied him.
I'm also going to go for a decision, even though I do really like Pacheco, and I think he's absolutely got the ability to...
He changed his answer.
No, I accidentally
He
pressed
changed
the
his
wrong fighter,
answer.
is what I did, mate.
So technically, we've all copied Ben.
No.
No.
Fear not. No, I do think he has the ability to beat him, but...
I think if he times Sadjo coming in, he could get a stoppage.
Yes, I agree. But I don't see it happening. We'll have to wait and see, of course. Anything else that we can think
There's
of?
an
off the top of our
IBA
heads?
show on the week on Friday night, isn't it?
UBA.
IBA or WBA?
WBA. Kubrat
WBA.
Pulev versus Murat Gassiev.
My bad.
Kubrat
Apologies.
Pulev being the WBA regular champion.
I thought it was an IBA.
Murat Gassiev. This was the fight that I think a lot of people were tipping. It is an IBA pro event, but Kubrat Pulev, sorry, is the WBA regular champion.
Yes, because he was meant to be fighting Moses Atama, which we all thought Moses Atama was fighting Kubrat Pulev this side of Christmas, but not to be.
And Maxi Hughes is having a shot against Mahadur Usmanov.
Is Jazza Dickens on this card or he's in December 27th. He won the world title fight in Istanbul. Yeah, sorry,
Yes,
my
he
bad.
did, yeah. So that's an interesting one.
Full
on
world
there.
champion, hasn't he?
How did that work? Because
He was in interim money.
when it because Fulton came in overweight,
so Fulton came in
like 2 pounds over, wasn't it?
overweight against Oshaki Foster, and then Oshaki Foster made weight up to they then fought the weight above, and
How can they just do that?
vibes in it.
Boxing.
Yeah, just one of them
Boxing.
things.
Don't you have midweight?
We should just get a t-shirt because a lot of stuff that we've talked about today is literally just boxing on a day-to-day
boxing,
thing.
innit?
Just boxing.
No, just boxing. I'd go off.
Just boxing. It would. Just boxing.
Just boxing.
Yeah.
If you'd like to see, a bit of just boxing merch, let us know. We'll we might not make it happen, but
Yeah, let's
just
not
let us know,
let's not make people comment and
we don't want to give ourselves too much work to do.
Yeah.
But they're already letting us know whether or not they like bingo. So just make an edit to the comment where you've said yes or no to bingo.
We're going to have all calls now of people's favourite way of when they shout out the numbers.
You got a favourite?
Well, they don't do it at Castle Bingo, I don't think, when I went to bingo.
Do they not?
What's your favourite, Ben? Saying that you go quite a lot.
Just any winning number.
I actually did bingo calling once for a charity event at school.
Really?
And I realised
He's done everything,
I
this kid.
realised while sat in front of a room full of people in a school, I was at school at the time, I didn't just
I hope you. It was last week.
at a charity event, that most bingo calls are inappropriate. And if you don't know them off the top of your head and you've just got them in a list in front of you and you just start going for it, it's some dangerous situations you can get yourself into. But just a
Fair play,
interesting
yeah.
fact for you there. The other one that's happening that we haven't really mentioned this one, but we mentioned our last podcast, is Badu Jack is fighting rematch.
Oh, is there a rematch? What,
For the WBC.
What's that on?
Is it in? Where is it to
It's
as well?
It's in Dubai.
Okay.
No,
Is it?
I lie. That's on a different card to that one.
Yeah, he's the Swedish cruiserweight. Remember we did those videos?
Yeah.
Guess the fighter.
I know he is, yeah.
God.
And
No, I didn't though. You
okay, you can tell I'm tired because I've just searched up Bacon Jack on BoxRec, which is not his name.
He's having one of those days, Sam Boy is.
Absolutely.
Fair play.
No, so he is fighting, I will tell you, against Michael, which is obviously the rematch in Los Angeles
Really?
on Amazon Prime pay-per-view.
Interesting.
The
What is that?
worst kind of
I'm guessing
pay-per-view,
they are
if you're
the
asking
main
me.
event, are they?
Yes.
They're just going head to head with Pacheco,
yeah.
potentially. I'm not being funny, man. That first fight that they had on, when was it? Was it on the undercard of Bivol Beterbiev? The first fight? I'm trying to think, yeah.
I think, yeah.
Because I can't lie, I didn't have Badu Jack winning that fight.
No, I didn't
No.
either. His opponent is really unfortunate. His losses come against Bradis, I think he was unlucky against, and Badu Jack.
Was very unlucky against Badu Jack.
Yeah, and I think he beat Ilunga Junior Makabu, who, if I'm not mistaken, is Martin Piccoli's cousin.
Oh wow!
If I've gotten the right Congolese fighter there, I apologise to anyone if I've not. But you know, he's had a fun career, but he's been unfortunate in those big fights. And again, as we said previously, I don't know why the WBC are so.
Well, if he gets the win, hopefully that sets up. Finally, gives Opetay a way in to
Gives him a challenge.
get another belt.
Fingers crossed, yeah. Fingers crossed. Anything else I'm trying to think of? I think we've just about wrapped it up, and I think it's probably best we just cut it here before we
it's been a bit of a hectic one.
descend
I
into.
think there's going to be a lot of cutting from Sam's behalf.
No. We put them out raw, just as it comes. If you like the podcast every single week, then subscribe to podcasts every single week, as we say. Social media, all that good stuff. Plenty of content everywhere. Thank you all for tuning in as always, and we'll see you all next week.
Punches chance. Punches Chance Podcast.